And of course, a lot of people think maybe you are the uncrowned queen of this division. What do you make of things?
Definitely the uncrowned queen. I'll take that. Just the queen in general, I would say. But, you know, until I've proven that and got my belt, then I'll have to just eat that one. But I'm excited to watch the girls. A lot of new competition come in. I've not seen a few of these fights, so I'm excited to see what I'm up against in the future.
Ditcheva has sent a massive message to all PFL female fighters. After recovering from injury, she's hungry for action, excited for future challenges, and determined to prove why she belongs at the top. Dakota Ditcheva says she is the uncrowned queen of the flyweight division, has recovered from injury, is ready to fight, and is excited to see future challenges.
And obviously, dangerous with the knees, dangerous with the hands, and coming off of a couple injuries, a surgically repaired hand. How's the recovery going?
Really well, yeah, I'm doing really well. I'm ready to fight again, so as soon as...
Let's get into it. Dakota was born on July 25, 1998, in Sale, Greater Manchester, England. She grew up in a family of martial artists. Her mother, Lisa Howarth, is a multiple-time world kickboxing champion, so you could say fighting is literally in her blood. She started training in kickboxing, Muay Thai, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu from a very young age. In 2016, she represented Great Britain at the IFMA World Muay Thai Championships in Sweden and won gold. She went on to become a three-time world champion in the junior divisions. She even won the Daily Mirror and Sport England Pride of Sports Young Sportsperson of the Year award. Then she transitioned to MMA, and the rest is history. She signed with the PFL in July 2022, and since then, she has been absolutely unstoppable. 15 fights, 15 wins, 12 knockouts, 0 losses, not a single blemish on her record. And in November 2024, she became the youngest champion in PFL history, and the first British female MMA world champion by finishing the former UFC title challenger Taila Santos with brutal body punches in the second round in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. This woman is the real deal, and she wants everyone to know it. Now let's talk about what she actually said, because this is what has the entire MMA world buzzing. Dakota appeared as a cage-side analyst at a recent PFL event alongside Sean O'Connell and Dan Hardy, and she was asked straight up, "A lot of people think you are the uncrowned queen of the flyweight division. What do you make of that?" And Dakota did not flinch. She did not shy away. She looked straight into the camera and said, and I quote, "Definitely the uncrowned queen. I'll take that. Just the queen in general, I would say."
What do you make of things?
Definitely the uncrowned queen. I'll take that. Just the queen in general, I would say. But, you know, until I've proven that and got my belt, then I'll have to just eat that one. But I'm excited to watch the girls. A lot of new competition come in. I've not seen a few of these fights, so I'm excited to see what I'm up against in the future.
The queen, in general. She acknowledged that until she has fully proven it and retained her belt, she will eat the uncrowned label for now. But make no mistake, in her mind she is already the queen of that division. That is the confidence of a champion. That is the mindset of someone who has never been stopped, never been rocked, never even come close to losing. And then she said something that should make every woman in the PFL flyweight division very, very nervous. She said she is excited to see what is coming. New competition, new faces. She has not seen some of these fighters yet, and she is looking forward to studying them. That is not the message of someone who is scared. That is the message of a predator sizing up her next meal. Now here is the other massive piece of news from Dakota's appearance, her injury update. As many of you will know, Dakota was forced to withdraw from her scheduled fight against Denise Kiel-Holtz at PFL Dubai in February 2026 due to an injury. That was a huge blow for fans who were desperate to see her back in action. She had also previously dealt with a surgically repaired hand.
Pushing it off and enjoying other things.
And I'm so grateful for everything I've had out of it, but at the same time,
I don't get paid.
I will come back from this.
But at this event, Dakota delivered the news that the entire PFL fan base has been waiting for. She said, and I quote, "Really well. Yeah, I'm doing really well. I'm ready to fight again. So as soon as PFL can get me back in that cage, then I'm ready to go."
Hand, how's the recovery going?
Really well, yeah, I'm doing really well. I'm ready to fight again, so as soon as PFL can get me back in that cage, then I'm ready to go.
Ready to fight. Those are the 3 words every PFL matchmaker and every flyweight contender needed to hear, and probably feared the most. She even admitted that standing cage side watching other fighters compete while she was injured was genuinely difficult for her. She said she was very jealous watching from the outside. She joked around with Dan Hardy and Sean O'Connell, even playfully suggesting she might be there to take one of their jobs as a commentator or analyst.
Ready to go?
You must hate standing cage side while everyone else is in there fighting. I know you do.
I kind of do, yeah. I'm very jealous, I'm not going to lie. But at the same time, that's why I'm here on the, stood with you guys.
But underneath all the jokes and the laughter, the message was crystal clear. Dakota Ditcheva is back. She is healthy, and she is hungry. So let's talk about what all of this actually means for the PFL women's flyweight division. Because Dakota's return changes everything.
Home, very difficult to put away.
Oh!
Yeah, Dakota Ditcheva with the 3rd round finish!
As of January 27, 2026, Dakota sits at number 1 in the PFL women's flyweight rankings. She is the reigning champion. She is undefeated. And she just told the world she is ready to go. She last fought in July 2025 at PFL Champions Series 2 in Cape Town, South Africa, where she defeated Sumiko Inaba by unanimous decision, extending her perfect professional record to 15 wins and 0 losses.
Plum and a right hand.
Another one! Big one!
Dakota Ditcheva, right hand and a hammer fist! Another knockout for Dakota Ditcheva!
Now with the Kiel-Holtz fight falling through, the question on everyone's lips is, who is next? There are new faces coming into the division. There are hungry contenders who want that shot. And Dakota herself said she is watching, she is studying, and she is excited by the competition that is building around her. But here is the reality. Nobody in this division has come close to stopping her. She has finished opponents with knees, punches, body shots, elbows, and even a rear naked choke. She has finished fighters in round 1, round 2, and round 3. She adapts, she evolves, and she never lets anyone. The women chasing her belt have a mountain to climb. Because Dakota Ditcheva is not just a champion, she is a generational talent who is still only 27 years old and arguably getting better with every fight. Let's zoom out for a second and look at the bigger picture here. Because what Dakota Ditcheva represents goes beyond just the PFL. She is the 2024 ESPN Non-UFC Female Fighter of the Year. She is the 2024 MMA Junkie Female Fighter of the Year. She is the 2024 MMA Junkie Female Fighter of the Year. She is the 2024 MMA Junkie Female Fighter of the Year. She is the 2024 Combat Press, Low Kick MMA, Cage Side Press, and Uncrowned Female Fighter of the Year. She shared the Bloody Elbow Breakout Star of the Year with Joaquin Buckley. MMA Fighting named her to the First Team MMA All-Stars for 2024. The entire MMA world, not just the PFL world, is taking notice of this woman, and her story is genuinely remarkable. She comes from Sale, Greater Manchester. She is half English, half Bulgarian, and fiercely proud of both her backgrounds. She is a lifelong Manchester City fan who celebrates her victories by imitating City players' goal celebrations. She is a personality, a champion, and a fighter who connects with fans all over the world. She is doing something that nobody has done before in British combat sports, and she is only getting started.
Co-main event, what were your thoughts on Alexa Grasso's finish?
I think it's one of the greatest finishes in the sport history, let alone this year or tonight or whatever. It was incredible.
One of the most insane, brutal knockouts you will ever see. And it was a scary, scary outcome at the end. Alexa Grasso, left hand down the pipe, puts Macy Barber out cold. Grasso immediately jumps the choke, an insanely quick transition, and Macy was already out cold. She was out for a while. She was laying there for a minute. It was very concerning. She ends up getting up. She is fine. Hopefully everything is okay with Macy. She recovers. But one of the most insane and brutal knockouts in UFC history.
Dana White watched Alexa Grasso deliver a stunning performance against Maycee Barber. The victory didn't just turn heads, it sent a clear message across the division. In a moment of raw reaction, Dana White labeled Grasso as the biggest threat to rising powerhouse Dakota Ditcheva, hinting that she could be the one to break her dominance. Now, with momentum on her side and the spotlight brighter than ever, Alexa Grasso isn't just winning fights, she's reshaping the future of the division. Is Alexa Grasso the single biggest threat to the undefeated PFL champion Dakota Ditcheva?
Do you feel like you finished her with the punch or with the choke? Which one do you think you finished her with?
I mean, I think it was both. I think it was both.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Was every part of you a little bit worried that how long she was out?
I mean, it's part of the sport. I mean, you know that it's always like that. I just wanted her to wake up, to wake up as soon as possible.
Stay with us, because this one you need to see. Saturday, March 28th, 2026. Climate Pledge Arena, Seattle, Washington. Over 17,000 fans packed the building, a sold-out crowd that generated $4.2 million at the gate, breaking the United States Fight Night attendance record. In the co-main event, former UFC women's flyweight champion Alexa Grasso stepped into the octagon against Maycee Barber, a woman riding a 7-fight win streak and knocking on the door of another title shot. Grasso, on the other hand, had not won a fight in over a year. She had lost 2 straight, both by decision, and many were beginning to question whether her time at the top was over. At 32 years old, with a 3-fight winless streak, she needed a statement. What she delivered was so much more than that. Round 1. Barber came out aggressive, working from a southpaw stance, pressing forward, throwing combinations. Grasso stayed calm on the outside, using her boxing to control the distance, mixing in low kicks. Both women exchanged heavy shots. Barber kept playing with fire, pushing into the pocket, trading with a woman who had one of the sharpest boxing combinations in the division. And then it happened.
From Grasso, found the target. Alexa Grasso, unbelievable. Takes care of it quickly. Do you believe that?
Barber stepped forward. Grasso timed it perfectly. A clean left hand right down the middle. Barber collapsed to the canvas. But Grasso did not just walk away. She did not just wait for the referee. In an absolutely electric sequence, she followed up with one more punch as Barber fell, then immediately spun around, jumped onto Barber's back, and locked in a rear naked choke.
Unbelievable. Takes care of it quickly. Whoa. Do you believe that?
To go to the choke like that was gorgeous.
Goodness.
She didn't even skip a beat till she got that choke.
She didn't need a choke, but she was out.
Whoa.
That's crazy.
And then sits down out of respect. That's sportsmanship right there.
Well, Macy's out.
That's martial arts. Sports.
Barber was already out cold from the punches, but Grasso put her to sleep with the choke anyway, before anyone in the arena even had a moment to react. The entire sequence lasted just seconds. 2 minutes and 42 seconds into round 1. A knockout, followed by a submission, on the same unconscious opponent, in the same moment.
Clean 1-2 from Grasso, found the target. Unbelievable.
As Dana White himself said, this was not just the finish of the year. This was one of the greatest finishes in the history of the sport. At the post-fight press conference, Dana White did not hold back. He called the finish, and we quote, one of the greatest in sports history, let alone this year or tonight or whatever. It was incredible.
I think it's one of the greatest finishes in the sport history, let alone this year or tonight or whatever. It was incredible.
Those are not small words from a man who has been running the biggest fight promotion on the planet for over 20 years. White also awarded Grasso a Performance of the Night bonus, an additional $100,000 on top of her fight purse. But here is where it gets really interesting. When asked about the women's flyweight division, specifically about champion Valentina Shevchenko and her next title defense, White confirmed that plans are in the works to get Shevchenko back into the octagon. Now, you have to ask yourself, after a finish like this, after a performance this complete, this dominant, this jaw-dropping, how can Alexa Grasso not be in that conversation? She went from a 3-fight winless streak to the highlight reel of the year in one night, and the combat sports world is now paying very close attention. The big question, is Grasso the biggest threat to Dakota Ditcheva? Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. Dakota Ditcheva, the undefeated PFL women's flyweight champion. 15 wins, 0 losses. 12 of those wins by knockout. She finished former UFC title challenger Taila Santos in just 2 rounds. She was named Female Fighter of the Year by ESPN, MMA Junkie, Combat Press, and multiple other major outlets. At just 27 years old, Dakota Ditcheva is being called by many the most dangerous women's fighter on the planet. But after Saturday night, Alexa Grasso just made the most compelling argument that she could be the woman to stop her. Think about what Grasso brings to the table: championship experience, proven submission skills, and now a knockout finish so clean that Dana White called it one of the best he has ever seen. Ditcheva has never faced a fighter with this combination. She has never been tested by someone with Grasso's timing, her boxing intelligence, and her ability to finish a fight in multiple ways. Dakota has not responded publicly yet, but after a finish like this one, it may only be a matter of time. The question is no longer if these two should meet. The question is, when? Let's quickly put Alexa Grasso's career into perspective, because numbers do not lie. She is 32 years old, with a professional record of 17 wins and 5 losses. She is the first Mexican woman to win a UFC championship. She is ranked number 3 in the UFC women's flyweight division. She has now earned 2 Performance of the Night bonuses in major fights. Her win over Valentina Shevchenko at UFC 285 is still considered one of the greatest upsets in UFC history, winning Submission of the Year from nearly every major outlet in the sport. And now, this finish over Maycee Barber has reminded the entire division exactly what Alexa Grasso is capable of. She is not done, not even close. Saturday night in Seattle gave us a moment that will be talked about for years. Alexa Grasso reminded the world that she is still one of the most complete fighters in women's MMA. Dana White called it one of the greatest finishes in sports history. And whether Dakota Ditcheva is watching or not, the message from Rain City was loud and clear. Alexa Grasso is back, and she is coming for whoever stands in front of her.
Today's bout is between Juliet Uka and Jane Osigwe in the women's strawweight division, 115 pounds. These two women are from the same country, Nigeria, and it's particularly heartbreaking for me as a Nigerian because it puts 2 of our best women against each other. But as they say in sports, the game is the game.
The Professional Fighters League has officially announced an electrifying women's flyweight showdown scheduled for April 10, 2026, as Juliet Uka and Jane Osigwe step into the cage with more than just a win on the line. This matchup carries significant implications for the future of the division, and possibly the most important name at the top of it all, Dakota Ditcheva. In a division led by Ditcheva's dynamic striking, fast pace, and consistent dominance, contenders don't just need victories, they need statements. Both Uka and Osigwe are talented, hungry athletes capable of delivering exactly that. But on April 10th, the stakes rose higher than ever. The winner of this fight could very well emerge as the next legitimate threat to Ditcheva's reign, setting the stage for one of the most compelling rivalries in women's MMA today. Juliet Uka has been steadily rising through the ranks with a combination of explosive striking and sharp grappling. Known for her aggressive pace, Uka pushes opponents from the opening bell, forcing them to make mistakes under pressure. Her previous fights show that she thrives in high-stakes environments, often finding ways to adapt mid-fight and exploit weaknesses. Uka's path to April 10th has been built on consistency, discipline, and an unyielding will to prove herself as more than just another competitor in the PFL roster.
Mark Gabber's starting to stand in front of Juliet. Big combination.
Oh my goodness.
Covering up. Big body. Juliet, oh, look at the finish.
Oh, amazing performance. Boxing skills, to that kind of level. Goes left to the body and then switches that lead hook.
body work was absolutely fantastic. There's Uka, that's the Juliet Uka we know, going for the finish. Demar, has she staked her claim for a women's strawweight division at PFL Africa 2026? That's the question.
Jane Osigwe, on the other hand, brings a different style to the table. Her striking is precise and calculated, relying on timing and counterattacks rather than constant forward pressure. Osigwe has a knack for reading opponents and exploiting openings that others might miss. Her patience inside the cage can frustrate aggressive fighters like Yuka, forcing them to overcommit or take risks that lead to mistakes. Osigwe's previous bouts demonstrate not only technical skill, but also mental toughness, a critical attribute when preparing to step up against elite competition. Let's delve deeper into what each fighter brings to the cage and how that might translate into a potential fight against Ditcheva. Juliet Yuka is aggressive and high volume. Against a fighter like Dakota, Yuka would likely need to maintain relentless pressure while avoiding overextension. Her grappling skills could be an advantage if she can mix in clinches and takedowns, forcing Dakota to fight in uncomfortable spaces. However, the risk lies in stamina management. Pushing too hard too fast could leave openings for a fighter as precise and fast as Ditcheva to exploit.
Wonderful exchange from both fighters. Jane has to hold this about. Juliet's good for a takedown. She gets different times, and she has a lot of experience. She's actually billed as the most experienced female fighter on the. It's no surprise. Juliet is trying to mount pressure, and Jane is in trouble. Jane is in trouble. In a way, oh my goodness, will the referee stop it? How can she get out of this? Jane is as supported fans. I'm not so happy about it, but
Jane Osigwe's patient counter-striking approach offers a different pathway. If she wins against Yuka, Osigwe could argue that her strategic, measured style is better suited to handling Dakota's speed and power. Her ability to control tempo and pick her moments carefully could neutralize some of Ditcheva's natural aggression. Yet, Osigwe will need to prove she can deal with fighters who are not just defensive but relentless. Uka is the perfect proving ground for this.
Big combination. Oh my goodness. Covering up. Body. Juliet, oh, look at the finish.
Oh, amazing performance.
Golden Bones takes the win with a first round finish.
In essence, the April 10th fight serves as a litmus test. Uka's victory would suggest that power and aggression might be enough to challenge Ditcheva, while Osigwe's win would imply that strategy, patience, and fight IQ are equally crucial. Fighting in the PFL isn't only about physical skill, it's about mental readiness. Both Uka and Osigwe are aware of what's at stake. The psychological edge comes from past experiences, resilience under pressure, and the ability to handle high-stakes moments with composure. For Uka, the fight represents a chance to validate her upward trajectory. She's already tasted success, but has yet to secure a win that sends a message to the division's top fighters. A dominant performance would establish her as more than a rising prospect. It would make her a credible, dangerous opponent for Dakota Ditcheva.
Kicks at all and not checking them as well. I think just obviously the boxing experience, you know, it takes time. Oh, beautiful.
Great right hand. Demar Gabba's starting to stand in front of Juliet. Big combination.
Oh my goodness.
Covering up.
Body.
Juliet, oh, look at the finish.
Oh, amazing performance.
Golden Bones takes the win with the first round finish.
Osigwe, meanwhile, is fighting not just for herself, but to prove that patience and precision can overcome aggression. A victory would reinforce her style's effectiveness and signal to Ditcheva that she's capable of handling the intensity and unpredictability of top-level competition. Psychologically, a win here could also give Osigwe the confidence to issue a direct call-out, asserting herself as a real threat to the division leader. So what does this fight mean for Dakota Ditcheva? The winner, whether it's Uka or Osigwe, will have the narrative, the momentum, and potentially the skill set to pose a legitimate challenge. Ditcheva will be watching closely, and her camp will likely analyze the fight in detail to understand potential weaknesses or trends to exploit.
Y Marcos Rosales anotó 29, 28, 29, 28. La ganadora por decisión dividida. Your winner by split decision, Alexa.
What? Alexa Grasso.
She's not a fighter who's shown any exploitable weaknesses today.
All right, I'm here with your winner, Alexa Grasso. Alexa, you told me your key tonight was just to be confident, to be you. How happy are you with your performance and what I believe?
UFC flyweight champion Alexa Grasso has just sent a surprising message to rising star Dakota Ditcheva, and let me tell you, Dakota's response is fire. This potential fantasy matchup has the entire MMA community buzzing, and we're breaking down everything you need to know. Alexa Grasso, the current UFC flyweight champion and one of the most technical strikers in women's MMA, recently spoke about Dakota Ditcheva in an interview that's now making waves across social media.
Shown any exploitable weaknesses today.
All right, I'm here with your winner, Alexa Grasso. Alexa, you told me your key tonight was just to be confident, to be you. How happy are you with your performance and what I believe was the best fight of the night so far?
And honestly, what she said was not what anyone expected. Listen to what Grasso had to say. Well, I think she has one of the best bodies in MMA, and I really wanted to have one like that. I'm still working on that, but it's amazing, you know, because she's a veteran, and I saw her fights. When I didn't fight in the big time, I was like, wow, those girls are amazing. And now to fight, I'm fighting with her. It's a pleasure, and it's really a blessing for me.
Well, I think she has one of the best bodies in the MMA, and I really wanted to have one like that. I'm still working on that, but it's amazing, you know, because she's a veteran, and I saw her fights, and I was when I didn't fight in a big time, I was like, whoa, those girls are amazing, and now I'm fighting with her. It's a pleasure, and it's really a blessing for me.
Now, wait a minute. Let's break this down. Alexa Grasso, a UFC champion who just beat Valentina Shevchenko, one of the greatest female fighters of all time, is showing this level of respect to Dakota Ditcheva. That's huge. But here's the thing that's got everyone talking. Is this genuine respect, or is there something else going on here? Some fans are saying Grasso is being humble and classy. Others think she might be underestimating herself or even playing mind games. Dakota Ditcheva is an absolute monster in the PFL, don't get me wrong. She's undefeated, she's devastating in the cage, and she comes from an elite Muay Thai background with a record of 11-0 in MMA. But the fact that a UFC champion is speaking about her this way, that tells you everything about how seriously the top fighters are taking Dakota's rise. Now, if you thought Dakota was going to just accept those compliments and stay quiet, you don't know Dakota Ditcheva. The PFL champion fired back with a statement that shows exactly why she's one of the most confident and dangerous fighters in the sport right now. Here's what she said. People see that when I win this season now and beat someone like Liz Carmouche and Taila Santos. As soon as I've beat them, I think what else can people expect other than greatness for the rest of the year? And you've got to be like that, you know. It's about time that I actually believe in what I can do. But she didn't stop there. Dakota continued. I think people say to me, oh, she's not fought this person, she's not fought that person. Or they say, she's running through all these girls because they're not very good. But if you put these girls against other people, they have close fights. Whereas when you put them with me, I finish them early. So I make it look easy sometimes.
When I win this season now, and you know, I say I beat someone like Liz Carmouche and Taila Santos, as soon as I've beat them, I think, what else can people expect other than greatness for the rest of the year? Yeah. Right. Yeah, and you've got to be like that, you know. And it's about time that I actually believe in what I can do. You know, I think people say to me, you know, oh, she's not fought this person, she's not fought that person. Well, or they say to me, you know, she's running through all these girls because they're not very good. But if you put these girls against other people, they have close fights. Whereas when you put them with me, I finish them early, so I make it look easy sometimes.
That right there is championship mentality. Dakota's basically saying, I don't care what the critics say, I'm finishing elite fighters and I'm doing it fast. And you know what? The numbers back her up. She's 15-0 with 9 finishes. That's an 82% finish rate. This response shows that Dakota isn't intimidated by anyone, not even a UFC champion. She's focused on her own path, and she genuinely believes she's the best in the world. That's the kind of confidence you need to become a legend in this sport. But wait, there's more. Dakota Ditcheva took to Twitter to make sure her message was crystal clear. She posted, "Respect to Alexa, but when we meet, it's going to be different. I'm built for this. Championship level is where I belong." First, experience. Alexa has fought the absolute best. She's faced killers like Valentina Shevchenko twice, Viviana Araujo, and Carla Esparza. She knows what it takes to perform under the brightest lights in the sport. Second, her boxing is absolutely world-class, clean, technical, efficient. She doesn't waste energy, and she rarely gets hit clean. Her footwork allows her to control range and dictate the pace.
From Guadalajara, Mexico. Would 3 wins be a form of knockout? Would you please welcome Alexa Grasso?
Do you have the best move when it comes to,
Third, championship composure. She's been in 5 rounds with Valentina Shevchenko. She's survived adversity and found ways to win. That mental toughness is invaluable. First, her Muay Thai is absolutely devastating. With 11-1 record in Muay Thai, including multiple championships, her clinch work, elbows, and knees are on another level. She's one of the most dangerous fighters in close range in all of MMA. Second, her finishing ability. Dakota doesn't just win fights, she ends them. 9 finishes in 11 fights speaks to her killer instinct. When she smells blood, it's over. Third, her physical attributes. Dakota is tall, rangy, and uses her reach incredibly well. She can fight from the outside with kicks, then close the distance and destroy you in the clinch.
Angela Hill.
From Guadalajara, Mexico. Would 3 wins be a form of knockout? Would you please welcome Alexa Grasso?
Do you have the best?
Here's what makes this matchup so interesting. Dakota is young, hungry, and fighting like she has nothing to lose. Alexa is battle-tested and proven at the highest level. If this fight happens in the early rounds, Dakota's aggression and finishing power could be too much. But if Alexa can survive the early storm and drag Dakota into deep waters, her experience and technical superiority could take over.
The planet right now. Fantastic strikers, veterans. Future legends of the game here.
For sure.
Taila
Santos is in big trouble. She's in big trouble. Dakota Ditcheva to the body again for a championship.
Introducing first, out of the blue corner, she stands at 173 centimeters tall, weighing in at 125 pounds, holding a Muay Thai and kickboxing record of 31 wins and 5 losses. Training out of Fairtex Training Center, representing Sweden, Smilla the Hurricane Sundell.
The woman who is about to destroy Dakota Ditcheva's undefeated streak just showed the whole world exactly what she's capable of.
Muay Thai to smithereens. From Smilla Sundell in the corner. You've got to return.
Her name is Smilla Sundell. She is 21 years old. She hits like a truck, and the MMA world is not ready. And the MMA community is calling Smilla Sundell Dakota 2.0. Dakota Ditcheva, the baddest woman on the planet, 15 wins, 0 losses, PFL world champion, has a problem. A big problem. And her name is the Hurricane.
Club and a right hand.
Oh, another one! Dakota Ditcheva, right hand and a hammer fist! Another knockout for Dakota Ditcheva!
Let's start from the beginning, because a lot of you might be sleeping on this girl, and trust me, that's a mistake. Smilla Sundell was born on November 12, 2004, in Sundbyberg, Sweden. Yes, 2004. She is 21 years old. She started karate at 5 for self-defense. I tried Muay Thai at 10 on vacation in Thailand, and by the time she was 12, her family had moved to Koh Samui, Thailand, and she went all in, At 15, when most kids are worried about school, Smilla stayed behind in Thailand alone to chase her dream. No family, no safety net, just her in the gym. By 16, she was already ranked #1 female featherweight Muay Thai fighter in the world.